Well, after months of attacking each other, President Trump and former Vice President Biden will finally face off tomorrow night on the very same stage. The first of the three presidential debates is typically the highest rated and has the highest stakes. But can it change the race at this point? Ed O'Keefe joins us from the debate site in Cleveland. Ed, good morning to you. What will you be watching for?
Well, Tony, good morning. Look, there's little debate about the differences between President Trump and former Vice President Joe Biden, and this debate could go in all sorts of directions. But history suggests that at the end of the night, there'll be at least one big moment that we all remember.
There you go again.
There you go again.
There's no debate.
Such a nasty woman.
Here, one line can define a campaign.
Are you better off than you were 4 years ago?
Or a candidate.
Senator, you're no Jack Kennedy.
In 1960,
the candidates need no introduction.
JFK won if you were watching. Radio listeners couldn't see Richard Nixon's pale face, the nervous pats. Now,
in our social media age, moments tend to be more powerful.
Mr. Trump, I want to start with you.
60 Minutes correspondent John Dickerson has had a front row seat.
Whole binders full of women.
In 2012, President Obama ridiculed Mitt Romney for calling Russia a threat.
In the 1980s are now calling to ask for their foreign policy back.
What was seen as a winning debate moment for President Obama in 2012 over the course of years has not survived so well.
But the format has held up, even if there's debate, if the events live up to their name. Do you consider these to be debates?
These are not really debates. Really, they are joint appearances or they are interviews held in parallel.
But Joe Biden's first question in the 2008 VP debate came from Sarah Palin.
Hey, can I call you Joe? Okay,
A setup for this line.
I say it ain't so, Joe.
Humor helped Ronald Reagan stop questions about his age in '84.
I am not going to exploit for political purposes my opponent's youth and inexperience.
And it's not just candidates in the hot seat.
More astronauts have actually traveled to outer space than have sat in a moderator's chair for a presidential or vice presidential debate. Good evening.
CBS's Elaine Quijano moderated the last vice presidential debate.
Elaine, let me just mention, they have not, Elaine, let me finish the sentence.
You can feel that temperature sort of rising. Gentlemen, I need to ask you about, I just had a reflexive moment where it was basically pulling it out of my parental toolbox.
Gentlemen, if you can't meet the Nixon standard,
the people at home cannot understand either one of you when you speak over each other.
And remember, sometimes it's not something said, but Sarah Palin's wink.
How long have I been at this? Like 5 weeks?
Donald Trump's looming stare, or Al Gore's sighs. As he crept up, check out the look on George W. Bush's face.
And I believe I can.
Or his father, caught looking at his watch.
Which emphasized that idea that he was out of touch with the cares of normal people.
How has the national debt personally affected each of your lives?
Bush's answer didn't help.
Well, I'm sure it has. I love my grandchildren. I want to think that...
There is a very interesting dynamic when candidates have to answer the questions of real people.
Yeah.
It's harder for them to dodge.
In this first debate, there will be a sole moderator asking questions, and while we expect it to look very similar to past debates, it may sound a little different. That's because there will be fewer audience members there because of social distancing. That might mean less applause and less cheering, and past moderators, Elaine and John, think that's a good thing. Tony?
Yeah, I tend to agree, Ed. Thank you very much. And you can hear John Dickerson discuss other pivotal moments from past debates on today's CBS This Morning podcast. You can listen on your favorite podcast platform.